Hey Brandon, just remember, when we're at C, we want to move to get angles. Early in the game, well, there's 19 minutes remaining. You haven't really moved at C yet. You can see your head's turning, but you found a spot off the court and you're just really kind of hanging out there. We can dive down or step up as needed. Just make sure we work to get angles because we always want to see between players. That's my point exactly. We just had a three-point shot at 18:27, and you were straight lined. We had basically the same angle you did. If it was a close three-point, we have no idea whether his foot was on the line or not because you were right behind him. If you see the player coming, you work to dive down or up. In that situation, you want to go down most likely. Then you have the ability to see clearly whether he was on the three or not. Peyton and Brandon, we're going to look at that last play, 16-15. I picked it up late, but it looked like, I think it was red 2, initiated an illegal screen right in the paint, which cleared that area for 25 to go to the layup. Yes, he did get fouled when he went up. However, I think the way he was trying to set a screen, we can definitely look at for the future. Just keeping an eye on game management recognition plays. 15 black, red 25. Small right now, but they're smacking each other's hands out of the way. They're both trying to jostle for positioning. Let's keep an eye on that. Hopefully we don't have any issues, but maybe at that point we could have said something, hey, knock it off, or I see you, or ease up. Or that's even a good point where maybe our C or our lead talks to the other partner and says, hey, Landon, watch red 25 and black 15, just to keep an eye on that stuff quick and early. 13:52. Jump ball, travel, correct. We needed something there. Guy went up, came back down with the ball, so you either have a jump ball or a travel. I like the idea from this angle. We can look at that play. I think that was a good jump ball. Landon, 13:20. You were trying to dance do-si-do a little bit with red 10, and you went down real low. You were probably down below the red volleyball line. I understand it's always better to go low, but when you get that low, you're really flattening out. You're losing a lot of your angles. So try to guess of where the player is going to go, and maybe in that section you take a step up to give you a better angle at that point based on the play. $12.25. Brandon, let's go ahead and look at that play. I'm curious, obviously I'm on the other side of the court from you. Just curious what you saw on that play. Again, Landon, let's look at your positioning at C again. I think we're more reacting instead of anticipating to get in an angle. If you watch yourself there at about 11, 28, 29, you started going down and then the ball came towards your player and you had to make a really quick step to get out of the way. Every once in a while that happens, I get that. However, if we were able to anticipate and see the entire group of players, we would be able to move better to see an open look. Rob just brought up a really good point, guys. It doesn't really look like we're rotating much. Let's make sure we look for reasons to rotate to put our crew in better positions. So they're going to come out in a press here. Landon, you're in a good spot. About second defender, which is good. Now you're a little too far and you stop, so that's better. Good. We'll take a look at that play. It's kind of tough to see, 10:55-ish, 11. Black 25, and I think it was, I just lost the other player. 5, there it is, red 5. Entry pass, big guys behind him, looks like he pushes body, smacks the ball. Luckily, red didn't lose the ball, which I think we might have had something then. But just because red doesn't lose the ball, it doesn't mean it's not a foul. Again, that kind of helps with the physicality throughout the rest of the game and displacement of that offensive player trying to receive the pass. 8:55 with that foul where that kid went down pretty hard. I really like how we did not send the kid off the court. Our athletic trainers were Johnny on the spot and came sprinting in. That's good for them. However, I think it's also good to note, if a coach started raising anything, you didn't beckon a head coach or an athletic trainer onto the court. They just kind of did it on their own. So I think that's a good thing that we didn't send them off the court. Hey Peyton, if we look at you right now at 750, first thing I want to say is look where your positioning is. One, you were very flat there for a while. Two, you're basically on the court. Especially when we have players right in front of us, you can get deeper. We've got plenty of room deep on the end lines here. I like to stay about 1.5 yards, 2 yards off. Right now where you're at is a better position, but you can see yourself walking onto the court. You like to move. Let's move with a purpose. So if we're gonna close down, stay at close down. If we're gonna back out like you should be doing now, let's back out, let's get there, okay? We don't wanna just kind of have those happy feet where we're moving around just because. Hey, Landon, sometimes what I've realized that helps me and my crew out is on plays where maybe my partner at C is still engaged and I rotate because I need to rotate. I'll even say every once in a while, hey, Brandon, I'm here. Hey, Peyton, I'm here. Just so they have an idea to help him out, because Brandon was still engaged with that play at C and didn't really recognize the rotation until y'all started going down in transition. So I just say, hey guys, I'm here. And we don't need to do it every single play, but there are going to be certain instances where that can help us. Last minute section, guys, I think if we could have worked to rotate, we'd be in much better position. So Rob was just talking about if we would have had a rotation on the last play down, or last possession on the other side of the court, we would have gotten an ability to see a screen and some other stuff. Then on that next transition up the court, Brandon was already looking like he wanted to go to lead because he thought you had already rotated. So I think we need to get all on the same page of when we're rotating and when we're going to stay. We need to recognize what the offenses are doing and how the defenses are setting up. So 4:28, we had a double whistle on a block charge play. Tough play, I'm not really worried about that. However, the one big thing I'm thinking is we just had a double whistle and both of you prelimed at the same time. Remember, let's get in a habit. It's a point of emphasis for us to put our hand up, sit there, and make sure our primary gets it. That's a good thing that we can pregame about, because I'm wanting the lead to take that play the entire time. It's coming in his lap, let him take it. But Landon, you put both hands up block. If Peyton had a charge, we would have had some issues there. Hey, Peyton, I think let's watch your count the rest of the half. Clock recognition, clock is still rolling. Clock is still rolling. Now we're stopped, there we go. Let's look, keep an eye on your count. You're a big, tall dude. I don't see a reason for you to have to count up. I think you should stay about shoulder height. I don't think you need to go any higher. So I'm not sure if this is going to reach to the camera. If the cameraman can give me a thumbs up if he hears me. No. Brandon, we were just down here with 19 seconds, and again, you're really, really flat. And I think you're putting yourself in a tough position the way you're standing, because we're not moving and sliding out anywhere. Brandon, 18-15, coming up the court. I like how you stayed behind them when there was pressure, but once they crossed that half court, got to get there. I think you were still way behind them, and you were also straight line. So either if you think you have to work onto the court to see through them, or if you have to work up closer and out of bounds to see through them. We got to look through the players. We can talk about that series of plays with 25 trying to take charges. Tough play right there, Landon. We can look at it on film. Then we also had the last one not even 30 seconds before, a block play where we put him on the end line. There we're at him again, 25-15, battling down low, and now 25 comes up to Peyton on transition and asking, why aren't we getting the holding? Why aren't we getting this? So now he's still going. He's frustrated because of what's going on in the paint with them two, and we already knew earlier that those two were a problem. Landon, let's look at that, 15-15. The ball down low. This is just something aesthetically I'm looking at. It looked like you were trying to adjust your jersey as the play was going to the basket, and it almost looked like you were about to call a foul down here on this end. So that's something when you have coaches who are paying attention, who know the game, they're going to probably get on you about that because they saw you flinch as bad as you did, which from what I saw, it looks like you were just trying to adjust your jersey unless you were smooth enough and you thought you chicken winged it and then went to a jersey fix. (14:03:01). Timeout. We had a hold before the pass and crash. That's fine. If there's a hold there, that's fine, okay? However, if we're gonna call something before we have bodies on the ground, we need to be more active than we normally would. You were still at trail, still pretty deep at trail. Again, like Jarman said at halftime, walk down, and that's when if I have something before the pass and crash, I'm gonna come up, I've got the first foul, so people don't know, aren't looking at the pass and crash. That's what you have to do. (13:30). We need to make sure we're in on that. There's a couple of things going on that play. 22 red might have got him as the kid's going up, walked under him with the body, and then we have players go down on the ground. Make sure we're around, make sure we're paying attention. Peyton, I didn't see that. We're going to look at that on tape. We were talking about a pass play, 11:05, a little backcourt action. I did not see what happened. $7:20. Peyton, we got to recognize that rotation a little bit quicker, and we got to get to our initial positioning at free throw line extended. And then we also have to recognize that Red's been pressing a lot. We have to stay on a press to help our partner out. You don't have to move. You're fast enough, you're athletic enough. It's not a fast break transition where you need to bust your butt down there. It's a full court press where we've got 6, 7 players all on the back court. We need you to stay where you're at, and then you pick up the second defender so you're one pass away to pay attention and to help out your other partner. 5:03. Brandon, you had a shooting foul and one. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Looked a little bit like we had some confusion with ourselves and with the players on whether we were shooting, not shooting, whatever we're doing.